Pose with the bands. Pose with the pose with the pose with the bands. Pose with the pose with the pose with the bands. Pose with the bands.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Today our group will present an article review titled Social Mandate Mental Health Support in the Workplace. We will briefly talk about why mental health support is important at work and how it's helped both employee and organization.
The article identifies the central problem as the lack of legally required mental health support caused by legislative gaps, voluntary compliance, limited insurance, and persistent stigma. In addressing this problem, it critiques current decision-making practices that leave support to employer discretion, resulting in unequal and inadequate measures. Drawing on expert insights and policy analysis, the article advocates a policy-level decision to mandate workplace mental health support, demonstrating a rational, evidence-based approach aimed at addressing systemic causes, reducing stigma, and promoting consistent employee well-being across organizations.
Mental health has become an important issue to today's workplace as employees face increasing workloads, high performance expectations, and constant pressure. When mental well-being is neglected, employees may experience stress and burnout, which can negatively affect both their personal lives and work performance. Despite this, mental health is often given less attention than physical safety in many organizations. The article published by DH Malaysia examines the current state of mental health support in Malaysian workplaces. It highlights that although awareness of mental well-being has improved, the lack of mandatory regulations means that support remains inconsistent across organizations, leaving many employees insufficiently protected. The article argues that mental health support in Malaysian workplaces is largely dependent on employers' voluntary initiatives rather than being enforced by law. As a result, employees receive unequal levels of protection, even though mental health issues are widespread, with nearly 1 million Malaysians suffering from depression and many workers experiencing burnout.
It explains that while physical safety is clearly regulated under the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, mental health risks are not explicitly addressed, leaving psychosocial hazards inadequately managed. Although guidelines issued by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health represent progress, they are non-mandatory nature, limits their effectiveness, and leads to uneven implementation. The article also highlights that existing legislation, such as the Mental Health Act 2001, does not extend protections into the employment context, and mental health insurance coverage remains limited. Additionally, stigma and the lack of standardized workplace policies continues to hinder effective support. The article concludes that making mental health support a legal requirement is essential to reduce stigma, ensure consistent protection, and promote long-term employee
Zero
well-being in
syllabus.
Malaysia.
In OBM 350, we learned that decision making and problem solving are important skills for managers. The article connect well with this topic because it focuses on mental health support in the workplace. First, managers need to identify the problem. In this case, the problem is stress and burnout among employees. This is similar to what we learned in OBM 350, where identify the problem is the first step in making a good decision. Next, the article explained that managers look at different solutions before making a decision. For example, they may choose to provide counseling service or allow flexible working hours. This shows the problem-solving process taught in OBM 350, where managers compare options and choose the better one. Overall, this article shows that good decision making is not only about improving work performance, but also about taking care of employees' well-being. By supporting mental health, managers can create a healthier and more supportive work environment.
One of the main strengths of the article is how relevant it is to current workplace issues in Malaysia. It clearly shows how mental health problems like burnout are becoming more common, and it highlights the lack of mandatory mental health regulations in many workplaces. By using real workplace examples and expert opinions, the article makes the issue feel real and important, not just a topic for discussion. Sources The Age Malaysia, 2024. It also successfully connects mental health to organizational performance, showing that employee well-being affects productivity and long-term success. Sources World Health Organization, 2022. However, the article could be improved in a few ways. It relies more on general statements than detailed statistics, so reader may not fully understand the scale of the problem. Adding more recent data or clear figures would make the argument stronger. Sources The Star, 2023. The article also focuses mainly on policymakers and experts, while employees' personal experiences are less visible. Including a few real-life stories or case studies would make the discussion more relatable and emotionally engaging. Sources BBC WorkLife 2023. Overall, the article is effective in raising awareness, but it could be more convincing with more evidence and diverse perspectives. Sources The Age Malaysia 2024.
As my part, the issue discussed in the article mandate mental health support in the workplace are closely related to real-world organizational practices. Particularly in decision-making, in many workplaces, managers must choose between prioritizing employee mental well-being and focusing on operational costs and short-term performance. Since mental health support in Malaysia is not legally required, these decisions are often inconsistent across organizations and depend largely on individual employer commitment. The Age Malaysia 2024. From a problem-solving perspective, the lack of structured mental health support often leads to unresolved issues such as burnout, stress, and declining motivation. These problems usually affect productivity and teamwork before management takes action, showing a reactive approach to problem solving. Research by the World Health Organization 2022 and BBC WorkLife 2023 supports the view that good mental well-being and supportive work environments improve decision-making, encourage collaboration, and help organizations address workplace problems more effectively.
Now, I will talk about example from the workplace and industry. Many organizations today support employee mental health by providing counseling service, mental health days, stress management programs, flexible work hours, and regular check-in with employees. This common in high-pressure industry like technology and healthcare. This action show how managers use problem-solving skill to reduce stress and burnout at work. Case study also show that organizations that invest in mental health support have higher employees engagement and lower turnover rates. This proves that mental health support is particularly and effective. Overall, this example show how decision-making and problem-solving concept from OBM 350 are applied in real workplace, even in small organizations.
Lastly, to conclude, the article mandate mental health support in the workplace highlight the significant gap in mental health protection within Malaysian workplaces, where support remains largely voluntary and inconsistent due to the lack of clear regulation. The Age Malaysia 2024. Supported by evidence from the World Health Organization 2022 and BBC WorkLife 2023, the article shows that employee mental well-being is essential for effective decision-making, problem-solving, and long-term organizational performance. Therefore, when mandating mental health support in the workplace is a necessary and sustainable approach to improve employee well-being while strengthening organizational effectiveness and success. That's all from us. Thank you.